for exactly 1 week. She decided then that she missed her best friend Lindsay too much and needed to go to Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern graciously accepted her because of how smart she was, and Caitlin and Lindsay had almost every class together. They spent every day together and eventually married 2 brothers. They lived happily ever after, being best friends forever.
No.
Oneida Muniz, who is not here. After high school, Oneida still had no idea what major she would study, but she finally decided on going to Mercer. However, after receiving her AP scores in this mail, she knew biology would not be her major. After spending her entire first year taking up class space, and nearly flunking out, Oneida decided to return back home. After all, spending so much time away from her precious dog Nemo was too much for her to bear. For the next few months, Oneida spent her days with Nemo, eating 5 cookies and cream bars a minute in order to attempt to feel better about being a college dropout. Not even her beautiful, successful best friend in the world, Nandi Easton, could make her feel better. But there was a turn of luck, and one summer afternoon, Oneida found love in a Mercer graduate who she knew absolutely nothing about. But he was Puerto Rican, so she didn't mind. Oneida was sampling during her honeymoon in Puerto Rico, Oneida was sampling the local goods and still having separation anxiety from Nemo when she was hit with a brilliant idea. Doggy tequilas. She returned to the States with the idea, and it was an instant success. The Mercer dropout turned into a millionaire in a matter of months. However, between her unfinished year at Mercer and her husband's 4 years put the two hopelessly in debt, and their millions were quickly diminished. The doggy tequilas were canceled due to a rise in excessive drunkenness in animals. Still, Oneida and no-name Puerto Rican lived a happy life, sharing a kennel with her dear elderly Nemo.
Renisha went to Georgia Southern and majored in nursing. Her longtime boyfriend Stephen went with her to GSU, but after 3 months of college life, he grew tired of her constant complaining and left her for another Rihanna lookalike. But Renisha, being a spoiled only child, used to get in her way, stalked Stephen day in and day out as an ex-piece. She became so obsessed that she ended up being taken to Georgia Regional. She broke out, however, found Stephen and locked him in the basement where she only said him as ex-piece.
I had Mary Roach. Mary will go on to Savannah State next year, hoping to later attend Georgia Tech for engineering. But Mary gets a little distracted by the college life and the frat boys. She becomes the ultimate party girl whose friendship and approval is coveted by everyone on campus. Mary's father calls her home because her behavior seemed inappropriate for a PK. She returned home on her birthday, and it turns out this was all an April Fool's Day story concocted for her parents' benefit. Mary had actually decided to follow in her father's footsteps and become a preacher.
Nice job, Jackson. Nah, I think it'd be funny.
Cindy Bush will go to Georgia for her first semester.
Oh.
Cindy Bush will go to Georgia for her first semester, but transfer to Chadron, where her boyfriend is. She'll become the second black person there, besides her boyfriend, of course. she'll go on to star in the WNBA, becoming the shortest MVP ever. But she decides to retire when only 10 people watch her games, and the WNBA pays next to nothing. She'll hit her first growth spurt at age 30. Finding a new career, she'll become a doctor and fight cancer one patient at a time.
Oh, that was good.
Hey, no.
Uh-oh.
Radek Patel. Radek is predestined to have multiple children, be especially hard on them all, and not give them free gas at his own gas station. Also, he'll have to ghetto out the nicest car possible.
Oh.
Our little Melissa. She will sleep outside.
You
wouldn't give your kids free gas and you gotta go.
Katie will go off to Georgia Southern and major in business. And after 2 semesters, she realizes that she doesn't need a business degree to own a business. She just needs money to get started. So she changes her major to MRS, marries rich, and gets started on her dream. After years of much planning and many paint decisions, she opens her bed and breakfast. And then one day, her dream is fulfilled. After her inn has been running for 3 years, Mrs. Avila spends a weekend there, and from that day on, she tells all of her students that she stayed at CB's Inn.
Oh my God. What?
Kim.
Oh.
Kim attended Georgia Southern University and absolutely loved it. After graduation, she moved back to Savannah and decided to open her own clothing store. Kim used her amazing talent to design fabulous clothes for clothless children in third world countries. Her company worked to clothe over 3 million clothless orphans. She eventually turned her company over to her 8 daughters and retired to her home in Wisconsin.
Ooh. 8 daughters? I hope Jackson got mine. Jackson was hilarious.
Chelsea Broussard went to Spelman College in Atlanta and majored in political science. She made excellent grades and was a member of just about every club on campus. However, after a concert and she caught one glance of Trey Songz, he fell madly in love with her because of her hair always being perfect. She married him and gave him 8 kids, and her name became Miss Broussard Thomas Neverson Song, and she gave him 8 kids. She also starred on the 7th season of The Real Housewives of Orange County.
I have Leslie Allen. Not much was known about Leslie after graduation. She was rumored to have attended Georgia Southern, but nothing more is known on that. Only through the party pictures posted on Facebook can we determine that she actually stepped foot on the campus. After that, Leslie was only seen rarely. A mugshot on WTOC here, a front page article there about a break-in. The media absolutely loved her. But eventually, a life with Bertha, Marge, and Constance as a cellmate tired Leslie, and she decided to prevent as many teens as she could from mimicking her actions. So she decided to combine a love for sports and music and create a positive environment for where children can release any anger issues by listening to and producing music and taking part in a variety of sports. But the children eventually annoyed Leslie more than she'd imagined, and she spent the rest of her days spring break party hopping with Bertha and Marge.
Lindsay. Lindsay will attend Georgia Southern, and she's on the front row the day that Southern beats UGA in football.
Never.
Despite her bubbliness of her high school days, she decides to dye her hair black and wear a long dark trench coat.
Creeper.
Polka Dots decides she's a bad reflection on the store and lets her go. Left with nothing, Lindsay begins to adopt children. First one, then some more, then some that she finds on the street, even fellow students. Well, not really, but she might as well be their mother. Her and Caitlin have their children together and tend to have play dates. Have children with separate husbands. Have salsa play dates, but it's really for Caitlin and Lindsay. And she accomplishes her dream of becoming a pediatrician, but has no time to work because of all of her children, and ends up having to be supported by Paul, her little brother, with his trophy wife and income from pro soccer.
Sean Taylor is going to get dreads, flunk out of college early on, become a self-profound ladies' man, move to Australia, and do nothing but skim and take pictures for surfers.
That sounds like